Alright, thank you for tuning in. I'm just going to basically show you how I do my day-to-day makeup application. Whether you want to wear it to work or you're gonna go out, whichever it is, it's all dependent on how you wear your makeup and how heavy or how light you prefer your makeup. So you can take tips from what I'm gonna do today and apply it into your day-to-day makeup application. Okay, the first thing I'm going to use is my brush, the biggest of the set, and I'm just going to basically, if there's anything on the face, basically just brush it off. Alright, then secondly, I am going to use my liquid my liquid foundation. Now what I like to use is the LA Girl brand, because this specific liquid foundation is oil free, and it also has vitamin C and vitamin E, so it basically protects your skin when you go outside, like in the sun, right? It doesn't burn easily. Alright, so I am just going to look for my sponge. So I'm going to lightly take a little, not this amount. So this one. Right. Not this amount. Like to basically press mine like this. Now just dab it over. Like for persons maybe with dry skin, what you can basically do is to prep the skin using maybe a little bit of cocoa butter, just a little tip in the palm of the hand, rub it and just basically put it over your face. But because my skin is basically normal, I don't have dry skin, neither oily skin, so I guess that's the good thing for me. Always remember to get the neck and the ears, because you have some persons that have um, unusual skin tone. The skin tone does not blend, so sometimes the ears or the neck is a different color from the face. So always remember to get the neck and under here, because you're supposed not to see where the makeup starts or where the makeup stops. And also remember the hairline around here. Okay. Can add just a little bit more. There. I like to do that. This is something personally I like to do. You don't have to do the same. Let me just smooth it in. You can also use a brush to apply your foundation, but I prefer a sponge. That's personally me. So it's all depending on what you like to use to apply yours. Okay, just in there. Right. And I mean, sometimes you see persons in makeup. Some it depending on what you prefer and what you use. I use inexpensive makeup and my face still comes out beautiful. So I'll use maybe a LA Girl foundation as you've seen, and then maybe a powder, maybe one of the cheapest on the market, which is a Prisma powder. Now my tone is 110 or 110, that's the number, or ginger, and the numbers are available on the back right here. So I'm using a Prisma 110 powder. Now I'll get my brush, use a brush to apply my pressed powder. For some persons, you can also use your sponge to apply, but I like to use my brush to apply. I always get the neck area first, and then I work my way up. The ears. Then you get the ear line. You get the other ears. Work it down. And try your best to even it as much as possible, because you're not supposed to see any unevenness of the makeup application. So try your best to get it all in there. Alright? Under here. Under here. Okay. Alright. No, this is me. No, because my skin is basically, I just have a few, maybe right here, you know, areas of concern. Now, for persons like have a lot of blemishes or dark spots under the eyes, you can use something called a concealer. Now, concealer helps to cover or hide any blemishes or dark circle under the eyes. So, like for instance here, but always remember to apply your concealer before you put on your foundation or your powder. I didn't use a concealer today. In another version, I'll show you how to apply makeup with the concealer underneath it. But today I'm not using my concealer. Alright? So I'll just finish with my powder. Just like that. Right. So my powder is ready. Because remember, this is something basic I'm showing you, like for a day-to-day going. You know, you're going to work and or maybe after work jam and you want to look a little different. This is something very easy that you can do. Now, my brows are already done. Now what I'll do is to, maybe one of these are your makeup kit, combs and brushes the brow. I don't really have anything to comb, so I don't really use a comb pad. Right, so I normally use a brush. Just brush it over evenly. Okay. So now what I'll do, what I like to use is my kohl eyeliner. Kohl eyeliner. And this is the dark brown pencil that I use on my brows. Like this. I'll just get it lightly, because some persons have really thick brows. They don't really need any pencil. But my brows are very thin, so I use a pencil just to get it in. Right, and maybe for some persons, when they're basically using the liners, they don't know how, because sometimes the brow itself, maybe they shaped it bad and then it basically has lost its natural curveness of it. What you can do, it's a technique, use the pencil and put it in the middle of the nostril right here, where the middle is where it's supposed to start. You can basically put a dot right there, but since mine is already shaved in, I don't need that. Right? And where the arch is supposed to be is in the middle of the nostril here. So that is my arch, and the end is supposed to stop here, the brim of the nose, right? So you see mine is in shade. Okay, good. So now that we have put in our pencil. Now what we can do is to go ahead and apply our, and I said, very inexpensive, my 12 color. That's what I'm using today, 12 color. But before that, I like to use my primer. And this is from LA Girl Pro Primer. A primer is something that you use basically to prep the eyes so the shadow lasts longer and it pops more when you wear it. It lasts longer. It doesn't come off as easily as when you just apply it alone. So I love to use my primer. So what I'll do, so basically tap it under the eyes here, tap it, because I don't really like to use a lot. Tap it under the eyes. Alright, get that one. Get the other one. Tap it. Tap it. Alright, I don't like to use a lot, especially if it's just something for work. Then what I'll do is to use this brush. It's basically uh, eyeshadow application brush, but I like to, change it up a bit, and I like to use this brush just to basically, just to even out my primer. Just a little bit, you don't want to get it off. And what you can even do too, if you're adding a little powder up here, you can really go up here a little, because sometimes you're basically not wearing just a shadow alone, you're going up the top. You just take a little bit up the top there. Right? Good. So now I'll use my very, very inexpensive, only $250. Right? It doesn't have to be expensive. My little makeup palette has in 12 colors. You can blend, mix and match. Right? And I'll use this to apply. So I've used today is purple. Right there. I will just prep it on there, and automatically, once you have on your primer, it automatically holds it, so you don't have all of that. Sometimes it's messy when you have it on and it's dripping down on back on your foundation. You don't really have that. You just take up a little and you just press it on to the lids. Right? Press it onto the lids.